Good morning, world of Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. I paint things here on the internet. What I do? Well, I mean, it's not all I do. I I did this like just a second ago. I was parenting. That's why we're a little late because, you know, parenting. If you haven't had to do that yet, it's an adventure. It's not for everybody. That's the thing. It's not for everybody, but it is a lot of fun if you can handle it or if you desire it. Anyway, they're good. They arguments over whether or not a stuffed animal can participate in a game is not like the most intellectual argument you could ever get involved in. But man, to kids, that sort of stuff is quiet on the set. I think they're still in there arguing about it. Anyway, so we've got all that going for us. Let me get myself on and watching myself, because that has actually helped. It's a little weird to me. That seems strange, but it does work, or at least it seems to be working pretty good. I say that and I can't find my video. I should be on. It says I'm on. Why am I not on? This is weird. Maybe I need to restart it. I don't know. Anyway, well, I hope everybody's had a great weekend. Had a great weekend. Went and played some golf with my son, who is pretty awesome. Let's see, that's on. Yep, it's on now. I don't know, it was something weird. My app was not loading for some reason. So we're on now. Okay. So went down and played golf with my oldest son down in Arbuckle's. It was hot. So hot. He almost beat me. It was close. But, you know, I was pretty wily in the end and managed to sneak one out. Goodness. Goodness sakes. Excuse me. Golly. That was a lot of sneezing. Rattle my brain. Get my friend over here. We found this thing, Sean. Apparently it's called a labubu. He's pretty funny. I don't know if anybody knows what these silly things are, but it's kind of fun. We found him outside of a robotics tournament in Shawnee, Oklahoma. So we named him Sean because, you know, Sean from Shawnee. But yeah, a lot of fun. He's an interesting little creature. And I got him I saved one of my daughters was gonna throw out this doll pool, and I was like, that's like the perfect size for that little creature. I don't know if it's a bear or a rabbit, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a terrifying little child wearing a fursuit. I don't know. But I dig it. But I've always kind of like creepy little things. Like, you know, I don't know. It's kind of weird. All right, so let's get set up and get started painting. I've done enough running my mouth here. So the Illithid run, or Mind-Flayer, if you prefer the term. That's the old colloquial. Illithid is the more newer term. So I went ahead and threw a bit of a zenithal on there just to get it started. He's a little guy. So it's gonna be super fast paint here. Great thing is I think we can just kind of do it all. I'm gonna drop a dark purple on it. Just gotta make sure I got the one I want. I think it might be over here. Yeah. This purple is like the darkest of the dark purples. So for his it's like black. That's like black purple. Barble. So his clothes are all going to kind of be blacks and blurples. So I think I'm going to do this in kind of like a Payne's gray, blackish kind of color. And then we're going to do all of this cloth work because then it goes in here too. I think that actually might be, I can't tell if that's his chest or if that's part of that armor. I'm going to bring the cloak all the way up. They don't normally So when you look at an Illithid, for those of you who are, this may be your first time watching this show, we do a little bit of research work early so that we can kind of get an idea of what we're doing and what we're looking at. Now, Illithids come in a couple different colors, Mind-Flayers. Purple is the primary color, as you can see, and then sometimes you get a little bit of some reddish. That's the one from Baldur's Gate there. There we go. That takes that glare off there. But the light purple is the more common colored skin. See, and this is who we're looking at right here, is one of these. And this particular type of thing is it's a very particular type of Illithid. They're like the commanders or the hierarchy. I like that. It's kind of a pink down towards the bottom there. Yeah, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at this. I like this one. So yeah, some dark purples faded into some light purples. We put some blues. Got a lot of fun stuff we can do here. So that's cool. The great thing about a zenithal highlight, that's not quite wet enough there, is that it should just kind of almost all we have to do is keep it on the level, and then we can work everything up from here. And the zenithals will make your life a whole lot faster. And it'll just you're still going to have to do some work there if you want all of it to come out perfectly. But it gives you a great kind of starting space. It kind of already helps the visual go. And you could probably just get away, you know, if you're just trying to get them table ready, you could get away with just doing a zenithal and then throwing a color over top it and going. We do a little bit more here on the channel, but yeah, it's good to know you have options. The thing about miniature painting in particular is it kind of really depends on how far into it that you really want to deal with it. What's too far for you? What's too much work? What's too little work? You know, what's not enough of a look? You know, how far do you really want to stress it? You can get super obsessive about it if you like, or you can kind of stay pretty chill. Just get it done and be happy about it. And I don't really think either one's correct. It's just, especially with, it's your own style, you know? If you want to buy somebody else's style, go buy theirs. Then it's their business, right? That's when it really gets down to somebody else's problem. They've got to make sure their style is going to look good. If you're painting it for yourself, man, don't let anybody tell you it was wrong. It wasn't wrong. It's just the way you did it. Okay, that's some sort of... Gotta get my magnifying glass out here for a second so we see exactly what we're looking at in there. Okay, so yeah, it's some sort of... Okay. There's like a little belt kind of thing here, some sort of fancy belt buckle, big old belt buckle on him. And then see, because it connects to this piece, it connects to there and there, but his robe does show up underneath here. And this is a Payne's gray here. That'll look nice right over top of that. I said, you could easily just throw your zenithal highlight down, drop your colors on it, and then that's all you really would have to do. You could definitely leave it there. Now we're going to come back and we're going to pick out a lot of these details. We're going to make sure everything shows up the way we want. We're going to get I get kind of obsessive about it. But it takes longer. You know what I mean? If you're trying to crank out minis for a game or something like that, you got a different kind of a priority. That's kind of why I like putting that zenithal in there. Number one, it helps my old. I'll tell you what, since I started doing it, my old eyes have been very appreciative. It's easier for me to see a lot of these details with a highlight on it. Okay, so now we're going to start bringing up his next purple is a little bit lighter skin color. So we're going to start off. This is a Windsor Violet, which is almost no difference, but it is. There is a difference. You'll see. You're just saying it is much lighter. It just doesn't. When you put it down on the palette, they look like the same two dang colors, right? Like, it's easier to see from my point of view because I'm seeing them more like live and in person, but they're so close together until you start painting with them. And remember, we want to leave those tips down there. We're going to kind of bring them down to a red, like a reddish pink overall. Probably the same on all the tips. This flesh here. Windsor Violet is just slightly different. And again, these are all our base codes. We're just trying to get some stuff marked out so we kind of an idea where we're going. Okay, so make some choices here. Looks like there's one. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. It's kind of hard to see it. You're definitely probably not gonna see it on this camera. Maybe I will get. Oh, there we go. Maybe I can get it to pop in. It's right here. There's a little piece that right there, popped it out. So what that is it's a support from the print supports. When I printed it, it was all held a thing like that. So you gotta get that out of there. Now, our next thing is coming in and starting to lighten up some of these colors just a touch as we go up. We're just trying to get a little bit of excess off there. very carefully. Anytime we see those highlights, just give them that highlight just a little bit again to bring it right back out. Some of this needs to just, we don't want it to be as bright as this because the light isn't hitting that. We do want to bring out some of this stuff that we weren't able to get to easily with the brush when we did our highlight. Don't look at the flare too long. They'll implant you with a slug or something. Yeah, right? Don't stare it in the eyes. Don't look in its face. Yeah, they're creepy creatures. It's a great big bad guy. If you're looking for a big bad guy, they are the ones. Like they're one of the ultimate villains in Dungeons and Dragons by far. I'm just very gently trying to grab the edges of this. I am not trying to get too far down into the crevices. Just trying to grab the edges and just bring out something so that it has something to kind of pop off of. Otherwise, it'll just look black. We don't necessarily want that. Very carefully trying to grab the edges. Put just a little color on it. Just a little color. They're also the big enemies in Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't know much about Baldur's Gate 3, so I was trying not to learn too much because I want to eventually play it. I played the first two. The giant Nautilus. Yeah, the Nautilus-looking ships, they're pretty cool. And the Gith. The Gith are wild. The Gith Yankee. And the Gith Sarai. Okay. Seems like probably just a little touch of this crimson. And here we'll work on fading that in. Let's just get it started for now. Yeah, they're a terrifying enemy, that's for sure. If they're played right in game, they're nigh unstoppable. Good little details in him too. Kind of get that pallid looking. flesh color for the purple reddish transition. And it's just little Azeri Crimson, little Windsor Violet, White. I'm just kind of transitioning them back and forth. And you might have to do this with a smaller brush. I'm actually, this particular model is pretty well put together. So I'm kind of able to just jump on here and barely touch it. And it's easy to put together. This is a Loot Studios did this piece. They have a whole set of different ones. Really great company, Loot. I wish they had an affiliation agreement. I could sell their stuff if they did. But this is just be for my own private fun, which is all right too. PG3 is incredible. It deserves all the hype and love it's gotten. Also plays well multiplayer. Girlfriend started a game with her friend. She reserved my PC on Wednesdays. That's fun. Come around these edges a little bit more. Especially down in here, you gotta be careful of that head. There's some ridges on here. I'm trying to kind of pull out. I might have to. Drop another wash in there or something. Let me switch to this little brush. Yeah, if we have to, we'll just drop a little wash in there and get that to come back out. There's some details in there I'm trying to get to come out. They are not participating. And this poor brush, tip feels like something's wrong with it. I see how it's way pointy and hard. You shouldn't do that. Your brush shouldn't be like hard. That usually means something's dried on it. So we just need to get a little brush soap, get some water, kind of work on it. If you keep pushing a brush like that, when something's up with it, you'll damage your brush, and you'll end up spending more money on brushes than you want. So a little brush soap. You know, if you're using junk brush anyway, it doesn't matter. You're using cheapos and whatever. But this one's a Monument Sable. This one should go a lot longer if we take care of it. That's one of the reasons I don't buy synthetic brushes anymore. If you take good care of your sables, they'll last a lot longer. They might cost a little bit, but they last longer, and they're usually better. They hold a better tip. Anyway, there's the little PSA, I guess, for the day, right? Little public service announcement. Looks like there's some sort of fuzzy in here. Some sort of hair. I don't know. Cats, man. Although that might have been from the spray primer. Sometimes when you use spray primer, it like catches things in the air and like puts it on it. It's weird. Okay. A lot going on in here. They want to kind of try and show some of that off. Just a little more. Just very carefully trying to find all these little bone bits. Just very gently pull them out with your highlight color. Again, this is a white with a little bit of Payne's gray. And like, if you feel like you got a little too much on there, don't stress it. Let it dry. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. This guy's outfit's G as hell. He balling. Oh, he's got himself an outfit. That's for sure. Mind-Flayer, so cool. So they, for anybody who doesn't know their lore, they are kind of like an interdimensional creature that infests people with brain slugs. There's not really a lot of other ways to say that one. There's something else, man. It's pretty awful way to go. is to get infected by a brain slug. An Illithid brain slug. And it like gestates inside of you, and then it eventually turns you into a Mind-Flayer. Like the slug takes over your body and like gestates inside of you and takes over. It's pretty crazy stuff. Little Naples yellow here. Pretty crazy stuff. Illithids. Really fun look. Take a quick look here. Almost like a Cthulhu head. Yeah, we'll make this probably more like white by the time it's over with. But you know how I like to yellow and brown out my colors, make them look more saturated. I don't like making things just white. See what that highlight's doing. Just a little bit of a favor for us in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different places. Which is exactly what we're asking for. Just keep working with the light. Windsor, it's Windsor in white here. Trying to make sure we get that bend there, right? Get the light on it. He's so spindly. So spindly. Okay. Those are skulls on his. So like skull, open skulls. It's kind of wow. It's like an open, hollowed out skull. He's got several of them. Because for the ones that they don't turn into other Mind-Flayers, they eat their brain. So, you know, that's charming. Probably gonna leather this, but I'm gonna go ahead and lighten it up on here. As you see, you might not even be able to see them really, because they're very small. Gotta get a better camera. Yeah, you can see it okay there. They're little skulls hanging around his robes. Pretty wild stuff. Gotta decide what color to make his staff. Okay, get all this base work done today. It'll be great. Pretty good idea where we're going. No, 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 no. So that is a raw umber. Put it on there just to dull that down. Pull out the rest of these details. Do the same thing on this arm here. You see, I was just gonna settle right in the crack. That's a very thin coat of that, like a wash, if you will. And the idea is to get it just set down in those cracks. I am thinking this is going to be a little weird, but I think a little pale olive, which is a green color. I want to have the coffee cup here, it's in my way. It's not even the coffee cup I was drinking out of. This coffee cup from last week, just sitting here in my way. I really need to clean up my space better. Let that be a lesson to us all. We need to figure out what color we want to do the staff. Let's see. I think it's just a stick. That one's good, just a stick. Black. Everybody does everything black. It drives me nuts. Oh, here we go. I like that one. It's kind of like a bone white color. That'd be fun. A white. I think we go with the Payne's Gray like we did with this bodice here. Oh. I'll probably drop a quick wash on this later, but I want to let it dry and I want to see what that zenithal does to it because we really want it pretty bright. So I don't know that I really want to tone it down much. I kind of want it to pop right off. And we want it to be brighter than say the stuff that's going on here maybe even. So we really need to be patient and let the highlights do their job and see what they looks like before we fuss with it. Now, for those of you who have followed me for a while, you know it's hard for me to not fuss with something. So I am going to do my best on that. If you can't take pop shots at yourself, you shouldn't take pop shots at anybody, really. Yeah. Honestly. But I do think we'll probably put some sort of wash on there. This is going to be weird, but kind of like this idea of maybe. So it's like a really light olive kind of green color. And I'm going to do the absolute tops of all these highlights in it. This is going to really give us a chance to kind of layer these colors up just a touch more. Very quickly, kind of just grab those edges. Really help show off this coif he's wearing, because it's pretty spectacular if we're all being honest. I don't even really worry too much about it, just kissing it, really. I was able to use that to kind of make some movement for us here. Well, we might even be able to come in with another wash when this is all done and get this to have even more detail in it. Right now, we're just trying to kind of bring those layers up so that it has something to play against. Because if you're just putting a wash on something that's black, you're not gonna see anything. You're not gonna see anything. And sometimes it's just there's nothing there to actually work with, so you just gotta have to make kind of your own lines, you know. And that's okay too. Yeah, fine. I think when this one's a bigger print, it looks a little different. This company makes their prints for a little bit larger scale than this, but this is like the standard Dungeons and Dragons scale, so that's why we're working at this particular scale, 1/32 or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, 33 millimeter or something. No, 75 millimeter. I don't remember. It's the smaller standard D&D one. I usually know this answer, and I don't right now, which is embarrassing. But yeah, that's just how your old brain goes. When all you kids get younger, and your brain doesn't work very well, like mine, where I can't even speak freaking English. You're gonna understand more about how you kind of go, and your brain just kind of melts on you a little bit, and everything you thought you were saying didn't come out exactly the way you thought it was. I guess you don't even have to be old for that. You can do that when you're young. It used to happen to me when I was younger too. You thought you said one word, but it actually came out the other one. Everybody's like, "What did you say?" You're like, "Oh man, did I say that right?" No, I did not. That's how you know who your real friends are, though. They're the ones that are gonna be like, "Bro, what?" People who aren't really your friend, they're just gonna nod their head and go. They're not gonna be like, "Bro, are you okay? Are you having a stroke or something?" So always hang out with the real ones, y'all. Always hang out with the real ones. The ones that'll call you out, be like, "Bro, are you all right?" That wasn't even English, my dude. Like, oh my gosh, it wasn't. Really get in there, grab as much of that detail as possible. Pretty fast run, 49 minutes. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to come back. We're going to do this tomorrow, of course. But I think everything that's on that list, or I'm going to kind of make a mad dash for. I'm going to see how many. That's the order. The order of the wins is going to be the order I'm going to paint things in right now. So, I guess after we get done with this, I think we're heading over to Lizardmen. Because this definitely isn't going to take us all week to do this one Mind-Flayer. So if you voted for something that wasn't the Mind-Flayer and you were hoping to see your thing, don't lose hope. You'll probably still get to see it. I'll probably get to it. But I had a couple things I wanted to paint. I couldn't make up my mind. And I think it's fun to kind of do the roulette, see what you guys what you're digging. Be like, what's the audience think? What do people actually kind of watching my show kind of think about what we should paint next? It's kind of neat. I like it. I mean, like, I get to pick what we're going to put up on the post, so obviously I'm okay with painting all of it. Otherwise, what was I thinking? I could imagine doing that, where you're like, oh, well, I'll put those things on a post and I'm painting them. That would be ridiculous. Although I'm sure that's happened. We as human beings are a fairly ridiculous species. By doing this in layers, it really helps it look more order, beauty and chaos, wabi sabi. There's because these brush strokes aren't exactly the smoothest or the cleanest. I'm just kind of trying to bob it up and down on the edges and just barely grab things with just little bits of color. But it makes it seem worn and pitted, maybe. It gives it a kind of a realism to it. Looking good. Okay. Let's do that little bit of leather while we're here. Just so we have it marked down so we know what we're doing. Sometimes you come back and you're like, what was I thinking? I want this. I want this nice orangey burnt sienna. Which is a little stiff. That's good because it's usually way too soft. So just add a little water to it and kind of bring it back. That orange is going to look great on here. Orangey brown. Should really help a lot of that purple to jump on through. It's funny how my technique has changed over the years. What I do now versus what I used to do. Long way from old basic craft paints and Hero Quest miniatures. I think I might still have one somewhere. Old Hero Quest figure. And those of you who remember Hero Quest, you need to make sure you're taking your multivitamin and stretch this morning. Old Hero Quest. That was a long time ago. Flash in the past there. I'll get a little bit more of that red back in, just a touch for fun. Alright. Well, tomorrow we're going to come back. We're going to let a lot of this dry out. Come back. I'll probably drop a few washes back in this koi to maybe pull out some of that. We're going to get this staff. We're going to finish with this hand. I'm not quite happy with all the way the color's sitting on it, so I'm going to add a little bit more highlight to it. And same with this hand, the back of this arm and stuff. There's some things we've got to fix here. We need to come back and finish up his arm wraps, and then do the base, of course, and then the staff as well. So there's still a little bit of work to do. Whatever we don't get, or if we get this done tomorrow, we'll start off with something else. So I'm gonna come through here. I might do a little bit more work on some of this because there's some stuff showing here that we just didn't quite hit that we definitely should. Speaking of which, I can already see something I should definitely. A little bit more purple there. Yeah, we'll work a little bit more of space. We got a lot of the basics ideas. We've got our color scheme down, and he's definitely looking flayerish. He wants to slug your face. with his brain slug. Come on. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Pick it up. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. That's my computer. I talk to it a lot. I'm in here by myself a lot, so I started speaking to my computer. We'll smooth this out. This transition needs to be worked on too, so we're not quite done here. But you guys can kind of see we did a lot of work on his coif and bodice, and I don't know, whatever you want to call that. It looks really, really nice. All right, let's pull me down. Boom. Turn that off. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Really appreciate it. As always, Sir McBeardsly. Thank you, sir. I don't know if you're back to work or not. You're still watching, but as always, I really appreciate you. You definitely help me keep my mind in line sometimes with keeping this going, and sometimes drive the conversation forward, which is great. And for everybody else that comes out and watches, I know we've got a lot of folks that watch that don't comment, and that's awesome too. Totally like that that you're watching. I think that's neat. Anybody who's never watched this before, give us a like and subscribe. That stuff's super helpful. Pushes this stuff around and kind of gets it out there. And I don't know, maybe who knows? Maybe one day I'll have YouTube paying for my art supplies. That'd be nice. Yeah, so I don't have to buy my own paints. Yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend, or had a great weekend, and you have a great week. We'll be back tomorrow to finish up this Mind-Flayer and do whatever was on the list next. I think it was I feel like it was the Lizard Men. I'm not sure, but hopefully we get to these kobolds too, because they're super cool. The little dragon men, they're crazy. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Really appreciate it. Be good to yourself. Be good to somebody else. Be good to each other. Be good to anyone. Just be good. Be good. I'll talk to you later. Bye.